Hi, thanks for joining. It's Patty from PS Papercrafts, and today I want to demonstrate how to make a card like this using the Island Vibes stamp set. Now, this is a celebration stamp set. You can get it free with a $50 order before the end of, or by the end of February. Celebration ends February 28th, so all other freebies you can get until that time. So I made the pineapple card, hello there. I'm using the Artfully Composed Designer Series paper, which is so tropical and so pretty. And I actually just recently saw a video on how they made this. They actually, some of these pieces, like this piece, I believe, they actually like layered it. You can see there's, they layered it and then photographed it. So this was hand drawn or hand painted, cut out, and then layered and then photographed. So some of these are just beautiful, like this one. And this is what we used for our card class this month in February. But see, so they're kind of layered on top of each other. And it's really just very beautiful. So I thought that would go good with the Island Vibes. Now, this card, I did the pineapple. This one, I'm going to do the bonsai tree. So I'm also going to use a different pattern. So what I love about this paper, or most of our papers, they have kind of a plain pattern, a plain design on one side, and then this pretty pattern. And isn't this beautiful? I love it. So this is Just Jade. I have a Just Jade card base. I've already cut my rectangles out, and I used the stitched rectangle dies for this. So I used, I believe, these two, the first, second, the third, and the fourth for this. So I did one in basic white and one in Just Jade. So those are the pieces, and let's get started. When you have a stamp that you want to have different colors on, you can use your Stampin' Write markers. Now, you can't use your blends. You have to use your Stampin' Write markers. They're water-based versus alcohol-based. And I'm going to just color them. And with your marker, you have two, like a flare end and then a pointy end that you can use for writing. And I actually played around and came out with, I used, this is the Magenta Madness? Yes, Magenta Madness, and this is Bumblebee, and this is Misty Moonlight. So I'm going to go with the Magenta Madness. I was just playing around to see which colors I liked. And then I'll use Just Jade, and then the trunk is Cinnamon Cider. So I'm going to start with my Just Jade. I'm going to use the flare end, and I'm just going to color right on my marker. So this is a great way to get different colors on an image. So we'll just color it in very easily. And you want to try to stay within, you know, right now I'm doing the leaves, so I don't want to get into the trunk. If you do, you could just kind of color over it or wipe it with your finger. Okay, so we have our Just Jade, and then I'll do my Cinnamon Cider. Now, if you're doing this with very light colors, you want to do the light colors first because you might pick up some of the ink on your marker. So if I was doing a very light yellow or something like that, and I touched into the green, I might get the green on my marker. And you just can rub it on a piece of scrap paper if that were to happen. It won't ruin it. You just want to remove that layer by rubbing it on scrap paper. And then I'll do the Magenta Madness. I just wanted something a little bright and pop up on it. So we'll just color this, and then I'll go over the colors that I used on the other card, just so you know. And I'll have it all on my blog as well, pspapercrafts.com. So we're all done with that. And then the next thing we want to do is just breathe on it. They call it huffing, which doesn't sound good to me. So you could breathe on it just to moisten it. I'm doing some talking, and especially if it's a large area that you've colored and you want to make sure it's all nice and moist. So I'm going to just breathe on it. And then I want to center it on my piece that I cut out. Now this is a smaller, I'm trying to think, I think I might make this a little bit different because the image is actually smaller. I didn't practice this one. Isn't that pretty? So I might just do the hello on the stamp. So the let's see. I'm using the Eden Garden stamp set for the sentiment. So I think I'll just do the hello right here instead of putting something down here. So I did the hello there for this one. So these colors are Crushed Curry and Old Olive. And Old Olive is one of the colors in here, and Old Olive is a card base. And then I stamped it with Evening Evergreen. Okay, so on this one, I am just going to get my hello friend, or hello there, and I'm just going to color with my magenta right here, and then I'll stamp this. So having the markers allows you to also just, you know, get one word or do two colors on a stamp, like a sentiment stamp. The other thing you could do is just mask it, put some post-it note over here and ink it up in your ink pad. So now I want to center this, just the hello part, and we'll just go down. There you go. So that worked out well. And then we won't put it up higher, we'll just center it on the whole card. So the rest of it is really putting the card together. I had this little strip for the sentiment. So let's just put this together. I'll use my liquid glue, and I'm also going to use some of the foam sheets, which is like a big dimensional. And I think it's just nice to keep it nice and sturdy. You'll see what I'm talking about. So we'll put this down. And there's something about this striped paper with the white on it. I really love it. I think it's so pretty. So let's put this down. You could put ribbon. I hate to cover this up. I really love it. You can put ribbon and tie a bow, whatever you want to do if you wanted to. So if I were to do ribbon, should we do ribbon? Let's see. Make it a little bit different since we're doing the sentiment different. What I would do is I would get the ribbon and put it down before I put this on. Let's get some ribbon. I'll be right back. Okay, so I am back, and I do have Just Jade ribbon. Now, if I didn't have it, I could color with Stampin' Blends, but I don't have a Stampin' Blend that's Just Jade. So you can color a light colored ribbon with a darker color. You could do a white. So let's go with this, and then I'm going to add a gold embellishment. So let me just put this down for a minute, and we'll cut a piece of this ribbon a little bit longer. I wasn't planning on having gold in it, but I'm kind of making it as we go. So we'll just put this around, and I like to use the Scotch tape. The alternative is to put some adhesive down the back and you'll just stick it to it, but I like the Scotch tape technique. So we'll just do these. We'll put a piece right here, and then we'll just pull it across and put another one on the other side. And then when we put this on, we can tie a bow over here. So that's pretty. You could do baker's twine as well. So let's put this down on the card base. And I did want the white behind it just to break it up a little bit. And I thought the stripes kind of went right into the white. So I like that. Sometimes I put a white layer between the card base and the main layer, and sometimes I don't. It kind of depends on if I want to have it kind of pop and break it from the background. So we'll put this down, and then I said I'm using the foam sheets. So these are really great. I love them. They come, you get how many of them? You get 6 of them, and it's just like one big dimensional, and then you can cut it up into whatever size you need. And I'll just cut it down like this, about here, and it just goes down as one piece, but it really gives your whatever you're putting down a more stable grasp. So it just really makes it nice and sturdy. I think sturdy is a better word than stable. Okay, so we'll put this right here, right in the center. The thing with this though is when you put it down, it's down. It's really nice. But you can't make a mistake with it. That's the only drawback. So let's do a little bow with this ribbon, and we'll put that on the side with a glue dot. So this card will be a little bit different. We started out with the same idea, and as we go, you just change it up. And that's what's so fun about playing. You know, like when I did this, which one do you like? I don't know. Try different colors and see which one you like. So we'll do the ribbon, scissors, and we'll just cut this way and this way. We'll put this on the side with a glue dot. And this front will be done pretty much. It's nice with a little bit of gold in it, don't you think? So just put that right there. And then on this one, I used some of the in color gems. So there is some evening evergreen, and the sentiment is evening evergreen. So I picked them out of here and just put 3 down the side. For this one, I'm going to use the Gilded Gems, and I'll just put one on. And sometimes I'll just do this. That's too big. That might be okay. And there's these little guys. I could put 3 down the side of the little guys. Let's do that. So we'll make it kind of like the other one. And we'll just do right in the corner one. I'm going to do it this way. I'm trying to remember to do it this way. I think it's easier. I think you have more control over it. 1, 2, and it's going to go kind of right into the bow, but that's okay. There we go. So let's do the inside as well. Now on the inside of this one, I didn't really put a sentiment. I just put the pineapple, and we'll do the same thing here. So we're just going to repeat what we just did. So let me get an inside. I always have a ton of these sitting there, and we'll get the stamp again. And if you want, you can clean off your stamp, but I don't think it's necessary. You could also put a strip of the designer series paper on the bottom if you wanted to. Should we do that and have this sit on it? Let's try that. Let me just put this down and get a piece. I'll cut another piece of this. Be right back. Okay, so we can put this down, and then we'll finish with that. I think I want to put this down first, which might be a little risky, but we'll see how it goes. I can just do another one if it doesn't work out. I like to stamp first usually, but I'm thinking I won't know where to stamp if I don't put this down first. So we did the green, and remember I'm going to breathe on it, so I don't have to worry about it drying out, and we'll just do the stem. So having the markers really opens your whole world with mixing colors on a stamp. And then we'll do the Magenta Madness. And I think you could do the rim one color, but I chose to do the whole pot in the same color. Okay, and we're going to just breathe on it. And I see there's a little bit, it's a little bit above the, I'll show you in a second. Perfect. See, there's a little bit that goes down on the stamp, so I was trying to measure that because I wanted it to sit kind of right on the line. So I'm not going to put anything else on this. I'll write whatever note I want to write when I decide who I'm giving it to. Do you have like a ton of cards that you never actually give out? I donated a whole bunch of them to a church rummage sale because I just end up, I need to send them out more often. I just end up making them and never sending them. So I have to do a better job at sending them. So these are 2 different style cards, kind of the same basic style. And I use the Island Vibes. This is really pretty too. And it's the only thing with this that kind of I had a hard time with is it's very, like, you have to really do it on the edge of your paper. You can't really repeat it easily. I didn't think, but it's nice to have coming off the top or the bottom of a paper. So anyway, thanks so much for joining, and remember, Celebration. And the other thing just to mention with Celebration is during that promotion, we have the starter kit where you get the starter kit. You paid $99. You get $125 worth of product. And then you also, on top of that, during Celebration till the end of February, you get 2 free stamp sets. So that's really nice. It's a really great deal. So if you're spending $100, you might as well just buy the starter kit and spend $99. You get free shipping as well. And then you're on my team, and we are the PS Paper Crew. And I'd love to have you join me. If you have any questions on that, you can email me, patty@pspapercrafts.com, and I would love to talk to you about it. Thanks so much. You guys have a good day. Bye.